Hey guys, it's Nikki here, and I'm here today to give you a list of my top reads from 2021. This ended up being a list of 9. Initially I started off with a list of 5, so we're gonna go from here. These are in no specific order, they're simply the ones that make my top 10. The first one is We Ride Upon Sticks by Quanberry. I read that in early fall and absolutely fell in love with it during one of my reading vlogs. It was witchy, it was girl gang, it was like teenager coming of age stories. I absolutely adored it. The second book on this list is The Library by Matt Haig. That was a very early on in 2021 read, and it blew my mind in some ways, but it was just, again, very comforting to see other people struggling with things that I've struggled with in the past. And there's something about reading about that, even in a fictional setting, that is very comforting. Number 3 is The Valley and the Flood by Rebecca Mahoney. This is one of the books that really indicated to me that I really enjoy the use of magical realism to explore trauma and dealing with grief. It was sweet and sad and short and definitely something I'm going to come back to. 4 is The 100 Years of Lenny and Margot. This is the kind of terminal illness relationship story I love to see, because it's not a love story between a boy and a girl about the same age. It is the blooming friendship between a young girl who is 16 and an older woman who is 83 or 84. And between them they have 100 years. And it's just very sweet because it is just an exploration of their friendship and how people deal with grief and death. And it was a beautiful story. I was crying like the last several chapters. And that book is by Marianne Cronin. 5 on the list is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This will simply make my list every year I read it, which has so far been the 2 consecutive years. So I'll try not to put it on here next year, but I couldn't help myself. 6 is The Woman They Could Not Silence by Kate Moore. I picked this up because I adored Radium Girls by Kate Moore, and this one just made me hate the patriarchy and just want to rage against men. It's not as bad now as it was when this book takes place, because I believe it took place at the end of the 19th century, so in kind of like the late 1800s. And oh boy, so much anger. 7 was Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. It is an epic science fiction book that I think everybody is kind of aware of, even if they haven't read it. It was like a mixture of hard science fiction and a little bit of like murder mystery kind of in there as well. And it was just a very interesting mix. And while I didn't love both characters, the story itself is what pulled me in. And it ended up being a really thrilling read for me. 8 is any book in the Murderbot series except for the one that came out this year. I had listened to All Systems Red, I think, late 2020, but I got through the rest of the series this year, and I just really enjoyed it. It's not wholesome, but it's funny and comforting and warm and just so relatable on so many levels. It's my new get out of a reading slump series. And then 9th and last on this list is A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. I have another very recent review of this, which I will include in the corner above and then in the description below. But this is about a robot, a tea monk, their relationship, and their internal struggles and goals. I picked it up at the right time, and while I don't know that it would necessarily be my absolute favorite read this year, because it has to beat The Woman They Could Not Silence and We Ride Upon Sticks, it's definitely up there. And those are all the books. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you read any of these books this year? Did you love them? Did you hate them? And what were the books that you put in your top 10 list? I'd love to hear it and talk with you below. So from here, I'll leave you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.